Hello, 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 hello. We are so excited to be here tonight. Welcome to You, Me, and the Trinity's Christ Connections and Conversations. Tonight, we're going to get a little deep. We are discussing the cost of being a strong Black woman. Um, welcome our lovely She Speaks panel. We have some return guests, and we have a new person on the panel tonight. I'm so excited. So, we always give a chance and let everybody tell a little bit about themselves. I am she is me. I am your favorite physical, spiritual, and emotional doula coach, Ebony Lachelle of You, Me, and the Trinity and Cross Connections and Conversations. Ta-da! Take it away, Kimberly.
I am Elder Kim. I am the other half of You, Me, and the Trinity. One third of Christ Connections and Conversations. I am my sister's keeper. I am all things women's empowerment, and I am happy to be here tonight.
Elder Kim.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You want me to introduce myself?
Please.
Yes, ma'am.
I am Elder Karen Jarrett. It's so good to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me in. I'm an author of Faith Your Fear, which is on Amazon. If people are interested in that, I also am an elder at the church in which I serve. I also do Monday morning lives, which are called Monday Mindset. And so I'm really excited about today's or this evening's dialogue. Yes, I'm glad to be here.
Jamaica.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jamaica Kathy. I'm a mother of 5. I'm a wife, PD director at my church. I'm a mental health therapist in corrections. I'm 40, and I'm glad that Miss Ebony invited me here tonight.
I'm so excited you came.
I am Reverend Letitia Roberts Henley. I am a returning guest. Thank you all for having me again. What can I say? I do a whole lot of everything. So I call myself the funny singing preacher lady. I sing, I preach, I do comedy. And most important, I am a wife of almost 15 years to my awesome husband, Edward Henley. We have 3 girls, 4 grandkids, and I'm just excited. And anytime you need me to chime in on something, Coach Ebony knows to call me.
Thank you.
Yes, and I appreciate all of you for coming on with us tonight. So let's just go on and dive right into that ride.
That ride.
It came out. Let's dive right into the topic of tonight, the cost of being a strong Black woman. First of all, is there a cost? Have we sacrificed something, and what is it?
Absolutely there's a cost. I think the cost is not being allowed, or it seems that we are not allowed to have humanistic moments. We're just supposed to matriculate through life, go through life, and never feel, never hurt, never stop, take the time to pause and say, hey, that made me feel some type of way. I need to recruit from that thing. It seems as if we're expected to just go, no matter what we face. And that's the price that we pay. We're not allowed to have humanistic moments of just being who we are, real. We don't have moments for that. We have to just keep on going. Take a licking and keep on ticking. That's just what it feels like we're supposed to do as Black women.
Elder Karen?
Oh yeah, I'm sitting here. Once we start off, when we get off the runway, it's just flying. We're going altitudes, right? So I'm sitting here. Okay, that's a great question. And at the very beginning, and you talk about sacrifice, I was like, okay, so whenever we talk about these things, I put myself, right? And it's like, what have I done? What was my sacrifice? So my sacrifice in being a strong Black woman, especially when you're trying to do better, be better, not just for yourself, but for those that you love, you'll sacrifice time, quality time that you could have potentially just been sitting around the table or in the living room or whatever with your family, but because you're trying to keep it together and you're trying to keep things moving and trying to keep it going, sometimes we sacrifice time. Sometimes we actually even just sacrifice ourselves and we lay ourselves on the altar. You feel me? Because a yes to God, honey. When we said yes, we didn't know what was going to come after the yes. We know what we had went through before the yes. But after the yes, there's a whole nother set of stuff. But I would much rather say yes and know that he's my helper, my provider, to help get me from one point to the next. You feel me? So to me, it's a lot of sacrifices, your time. Sometimes it's even in your health because we don't know how to get somewhere and sit down. Can you touch your neighbor? Can you tell your neighbor?
Yeah.
Sometimes we push so hard that we are at the place because you want to be successful in what you do, right? But sometimes it's all you can do to get enough strength to take your shoes off from the day, whether they were flats or heels. Sometimes it's all you can do to get to the shower to take a bath so you can lay down and rest in peace and just be in comfort. You know what I'm saying? It's all you can do to turn on your steamer with your essential oils and your spray to make sure your bed sheets give you know that nice light feeling when you lay down. So yeah, there's definitely sacrifice in a lot of ways of being able to hold it together, but also be successful.
Well.
Man,
This is probably going to be the thing that nobody really wants to hear anybody say. It's a great sacrifice, which has cost a lot of women marriage, right? Because we're not settling. We know what we want. We're able to take care of ourselves. There's an expectation that we now have that a lot of our mothers and grandmothers and great grandmothers did without because they felt like they had to. I always tell the story that nowadays women have options when they're in an abusive marriage, when they're in a marriage that there's infidelity. Before, in the early 1900s, in the 20s and 30s, the woman couldn't pick up with her 9 children and leave and go to her sister's house because her sister was there with their 11 kids. Nowadays, if there's a mother who has 2 children, she can call her girlfriend, her sister, somebody, and go to their house to get away from a marriage that's not healthy. So a lot of times women are now knowing they don't have to put up with what used to be. They're not willing to sacrifice with having, as I call them, hobosexuals. Hobos that lay on the couch. You let them stay at your house while you go to work every day. He driving your car. He eating
Talk
off your
about
kids'
it.
CBT. And you're okay with that because I just want a piece of man. So women who know their worth as a strong Black woman, she's not finna tolerate that. I always tell the story that I thank God for my mother because my mother never allowed me to see a man lay up at our house. When you dated her, you dated us. We went out to dinner. We went to the amusement park. My mother didn't allow a man to come to her house and eat at her table. You came to visit us, and you left before I went to bed. Those are things that we used to do that folks don't do anymore. But for the strong Black woman who does do it, it cost her companionship. It cost her someone just to go to dinner with, just to go to a movie with, just to go to a sporting event with. So yeah, it cost in a lot of capacities. You want to go to school and further your education. Well, why you want to do that? Why you ain't got time for me? So it costs in the relationships that women want to have and naturally desire, because that's who we are. We're nurturers. We want to love. We want to share that love. So it has cost a lot of Black women healthy relationships, or what could have been healthy relationships.
Before I answer to that, because I got a response to that, Jamaica, you want to say anything?
I agree with Miss Henley. It costs a lot of healthy relationships. It also can actually have an impact on our mental health as well. Being a strong Black woman. I was raised by a strong Black woman, so I saw her go through so many things. She raised 4 kids as a single mother, but each child had their different personalities, and we took her roller coasters. So it caused her sleepless nights, and the same thing as we mimic who we were raised by. So we go through the same thing. We raise our kids kind of the same way. And when your child is going through, you're going through. And just like in the workforce, some people are intimidated by a strong Black woman because, oh, she has an education, she can do what I can do, or she can do it better. They're intimidated. And I hate to point fingers. Sometimes it's our male counterparts that are strongly intimidated by us. So
Yeah. I would agree totally. And I want to digress just a second back to my sister Letizia's point, because I can say that I am a woman that it cost me a marriage to be strong. Having gone through some infidelity from my spouse, hey, I wasn't having it. I didn't have to have that. Now, and I honestly tell people we actually didn't divorce due to the infidelity. We had actually started to work through that. We divorced because of the serious severing of communication. There was such a major breakdown in communication, we couldn't fully recover. But and that was when I was like, listen, I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. I've told you what I need. I've told you what I expect. I told you what I need from you. I need you to tell me what you need from me so that we can try to restore some type of normalcy. But if you can't give me that, I got a real strong, solid foundation in the background. I don't have to take that, and I will not take that. And I did not. So I packed up my knot. But and some people don't know I've been married twice. So I packed up the child I had before and the child I had with him. And I told him he can go on nobody's business because I can take care of me and them. So I would say it cost me what could have turned into a healthy marriage. It was not healthy at the time, but it did cost me, it cost me marriage. It cost me companionship. And because of the type of woman that I am, nobody come around these kids. I don't even like you like that, bro. So, I mean, you got to ride with me for a while before I decide I even want to bring you, around my children. So I can attest to that.
I agree. And I think y'all kind of hit the nail on the head when it comes to sacrifice, and especially when it comes to like dating relationships. Because we are the strong women that we are. There's a lot of things we just ain't going for. I read a post not too long ago, and it was a guy. He was pretty much saying that nowadays women ask too many questions when getting to know a guy. It's like an interview, he says, and I'm looking at it. He says dating a woman after 30 is miserable. It's just a job interview. All she wants to know is, what do you do for a living? What do you drive? What do you rent? These women want to qualify you materialistically to see if you're their retirement plan. And I read that and I got kind of offended because honestly, it's quite the opposite. If a woman is asking you those things, she's not asking you those things because she's looking for you to take care of her. She's just trying to make sure that she's not going to have to take care of you.
Come through. Yes, indeed.
I mean, so being a strong Black woman, we listed some of the. It was costly to be a strong black woman, but it's kind of like catch-22 because being a strong black woman, you learn what not to settle for.
That's right.
A conversation like that with him, I would not have even entertained it. I don't have to. Like Letitia said, you got some women who have men up in their house when they go to work. He's swiping her EBT card, he driving her car, he doing all these things. She's taking care of him. We have reached a point in our lives that we don't have to settle. That's not what we want. And we have come to the point that we will gladly be alone and raise these babies by ourselves before we put ourselves in a situation where we're taking care of a grown man. Strength gives you the option to do that. There was a point in time where I did it. I was not that strong, but I found my strength and I refuse to go back down that road again.
Yeah.
So you built your muscle. You built your
I built
muscle,
my
and
muscle.
you're not getting ready to lose it.
No,
Because what
ma'am.
people don't understand is building muscle is a hard process, especially if you're not athletic. I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally. You got to work that mental athleticism in your brain to say, this is what I'm not. Your heart already knows. You got to make your brain figure out, this is what I don't need and this is what I need. I always like to tell this story about my husband. I was single for 9 years after my first marriage. I can't tell you, living in Atlanta, how many people tried to get to know me. I'll tell anybody, I'm not easy to get to know, because that interview he was talking about, honey, I get that done in about the first 15, 20 minutes. If you ain't got time to get those simple questions out the way, I don't have time to have a conversation with you. But one thing about my husband now is that he didn't mind the questions. He liked the questions. He was an open book. He wanted me to know, what do you want to know? What do you want to know about me? What do you want to know about my family? What do you want to know about how I was raised and what I did? And I always tell people that it was because he was a strong man that allowed me to be vulnerable enough to him to be open, because I was so guarded. I was so closed. Like you said, I don't need you to take care of me. I know how to take care of me. I need you to be my provider and my protector. And that's the thing a lot of us fail to realize. When you are having those conversations, being a strong Black woman, you've got to be able to know what it is you really want,
Right.
not what they think you are expecting of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll cost you, because the moment you say, well, this is my 5-year plan, this is my 10-year plan, this is my 20-year plan, and they're not willing to be a part of that, or they're not willing to communicate. And I'm so glad Jamaica's on here, because I tell people all the time, communication will save every single type of relationship. I don't care what that relationship is. If you're not communicating, you're bound to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You done told the whole truth.
Right.
All the truth and nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
I ain't even really got nothing else to say.
So I have a question that I want to ask. So we're talking about strength, the strength of a Black woman, but how often do you deal with depression, and how do you deal with depression if that's something that you battle?
Child. Let me drink my juice.
Pick me.
Go ahead.
It's called psychologists, psychiatrists. Get to know them both very well. When I came back from war in 2005, baby, I am a true extrovert in all sense of the word. Okay, there is nothing introverted about me. Never have been. My mama would tell you the same thing. I know who I am. I was sleeping all day and up all night. Now, I'm a night owl naturally, but I realized I was getting to the point when my friends would show up to see me. Girl, I'd jump up out that bed and I'd get it together and and everything, and have fun and and sing and all that. Soon as they left the house, you hear me crawling back into bed with everything that I have. Now, I'm a veteran, so I went down to the VA and I told them, I said, y'all broke me. Now y'all need to fix me. And the best thing they could have ever done was said, go talk to somebody, go find something that helps balance you out until you find ways to cope with what you're dealing with. Now, as I've gotten older, depression comes in sometimes in other ways that has absolutely nothing to do with the military. My husband will tell you, the first 3 years I lived in Alabama, I sat in the recliner and I ate. Because I had come from a place where there was so much to do, so much going on, and I didn't know how to deal with that. I was depressed. Even with meeting people, I had not found those connections, those Christ connections yet. So I was just existing, and it was depressing. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? I now know what I'm doing here, but at the time I didn't. And so, yeah, I tell anybody, honey, if I got something on my mind and I need to talk, yeah.
That's good.
Oh, you know what? Let me share this with you all. I just purchased this today. I don't know if you can see it. It says mental illness and the church. And it's a book by Dr. Eric C. Little, Integrating Psychology and Theology. And no, I didn't know what, exactly what we were going to be speaking on tonight. But since we're talking about it, we love to go to church and say, pray it away, pray to the Lord. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. I'm the first one to pray for you. And then I'm the same one that whisper in your ear, you need to go talk to somebody, baby. Okay. God give you common sense to go along with all that holiness and spirituality you got.
Yeah, one thing like Richard said, our community continues to struggle with advocating for our own mental health and the mental health of our loved ones because of decades of stigma surrounding mental health issues.
So true.
Absolutely, Richard.
Amen,
Absolutely.
Richard. Amen.
So, Edmund?
Me personally, and I'll be, super transparent tonight with y'all. I have taken antidepressants on 2 different occasions. After the breakdown of my marriages. I don't take them anymore because one day I just woke up. I was like, I'm not about to do this anymore. Now, while I was able to stop, there's nothing wrong if you need some help. If you need something to help balance you out because it's a chemical imbalance, take you some medicine. But for me, what I have found was extremely therapeutic was to write. I go and I write my pain away, and I do have this great benefit that my father is a therapist, so got a built-in therapist. If I really I go and sit down and I talk, I have really good support base. But for me, I write. I have found that because of what some of the things that I have to do, I can't take that medicine, so I write. But I have used it. It worked. I'm a big advocate for you take some, you talk to somebody, you pray, you do whatever you got to do. But I write.
I'm still learning how to work through it. And that's just me sitting in 100% transparency. I don't have bouts with it often, but when I do, because it's not something that I deal with on a regular basis, I shut down. I will disappear on you in a minute. And it's not intentional. It's just that I don't even know what's going on with me. It's hard for me to even wrap my mind around all of the things surrounding me. So I really can't tell you about what I'm going through because I really don't know how to put it into words. And I thank God for good friends who, even if they don't understand, they're still there. Like, okay, girl, like Ebony for one, it used to be a really big problem for us when we were getting to know each other as sisters because she would take my shutting down as me pushing her away. Like it was personal. And it's like, girl, I promise you, it's not personal. I got to figure out a way to get back to me. And I can't really tell you what's going on with me. So, I just rather shut it down. So now I've gotten a little bit better. When I feel myself starting to get a little heavy, I shoot her a text message. Hey, feeling a little heavy. Might go into my secret place for a while. I'll let you know when I come out. Just pray for me. And she's gotten better every once in a while, especially like the last little bout I had. It lasted about 3 weeks, y'all. I can't lie. She's gotten better because she would just like you. She would call me. You gonna talk to me? We gonna talk this thing out. I'm like, girl, I don't even, ma'am. Can you get this?
Baby, now we'll pull up on you.
Yeah. Oh, it's been times when Ebony has had to come to my house when we lived in the same city, rip the cover up off of me in my bed. I'm like, hole in my bed. First of all, ma'am, how'd you get in here? Let's just talk about that.
The children let me in. I'm at the door like this. Why you open this door?
But that's my truth. And because I don't deal with it often, I've struggled with like, need to see a psychiatrist because this ain't something I do. I'm normally happy, bubbly, go get it, but I'm like, I don't even know if this is something that I should waste somebody's time or going to see a psychiatrist about because it's not often. So I'm one of them people. I just pray it away, y'all. I just pray and push my way back up on my feet. That's all I know to do. Elder Ken.
I was just gonna say a lot of people are afraid to.
But
I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, so I was just saying a lot of people are afraid to acknowledge the
Go
fact
ahead.
that something's off,
Mm.
something's not right, something doesn't feel like my normal me. Because my normal me wouldn't feel so heavy all the time. My normal me wouldn't feel unloved. My normal me would, be bouncing around, laughing and joking. But this person is not my normal me. And I think a lot of times depression goes undetected. You feel me? Like I'm an empty nester, right? So I don't have little babies running around. My children are grown. I got grandkids, but they don't stay with me. They're with their parents. So when they come, it's such a joy. Kids do what kids do. I love them. We play. I think one is 7 and one is 4. She's going on 40. So, we have our talks. But after they're gone, I look around and I feel the sense of stillness in my house. Now, my house is really peaceful, but even in the peace that's there, sometimes you can feel like a person that is on an island all by yourself. And so it's those times when I start to identify, especially if that thing start hanging around too long, then that's even in the midst of what we wake up, we pray, we go to bed, we pray. I have music that I listen to, certain types of music that's uplifting, that feeds me, that hits me in my spirit. I meditate, all of these different things. But even with all the things that we have in place, I don't believe that anybody is, how can you say, absent from getting poked with that depression. Somewhere, keep on living, child. Just keep on living. But the way that we handle it when it comes, to find that place of happiness. So one of the things that I really have found is like, what would bring me joy in this moment? If I can't say, if it's on the weekends, there's not someone to talk to. Yes, there's hotlines for mental illness and things like that. But then again, we've got a lot of stigmas about being able to share your brain and share your emotions, and you don't want somebody to think that you're crazy, because that used to be the contention all the time. That was the thing, that if you had anything you was dealing with, folks thought you was crazy. And
That's
nobody
so
wanted
true.
to be labeled as crazy.
Right.
But now that as we're growing and we're becoming more woke, we're like, hey, wait a minute. You going through the same thing I'm going through. And we both got good common sense. Hello, somebody. We've got good common sense. We know how to live. We know how to move and have our being. But there are some days when I feel a struggle. But just having that happy moment, what is it that's going to snap me back out? It could be walking to my door, looking out at nature and the birds. It could be listening to ocean sounds, because y'all know I love the beach. So if I can just take that place that is dark and heavy and bring a piece of light, whether it's what I see visually or what I'm experiencing naturally through the elements, it helps lift it. Y'all forgive for going on, because that spot right there.
Jamaica,
But
is she fine?
like what we're saying, it's the stigma that a lot of us was raised with. Um, can y'all hear me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. It's the stigma that a lot of us was raised with. It's more or less, you were told, don't talk, go talk. No, what happens in this house stays in this house. You better not tell your business and this and that. So a lot of people shun the mental health agencies, the counselor, therapists, because they were told so much. You don't tell your business. Um, you don't do this. You don't have to talk to anybody. Talk to the God and talk to the. So like the books that she has, I'm really interested in mental illness in the church, because it is mental illness in the church as well as everywhere else. But some churches shun away from it and some of them embrace it. So it just, I guess it just depends on each individual, whether it's depression, anxiety, because at one point, even though I'm a mental health therapist, and in order to go through school, we have to see someone ourselves. Ask you that question. Have you seen someone? Have you seen someone? And I was the first one to say, "Oh yeah, I've confided in my pastor. I've had a therapist, because I've witnessed so much going on growing up. I had to talk to somebody. If I didn't, I was going to explode." And it wasn't until I was at work one day, And my friend was like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "You're not your happy, jovial self." And I didn't know that I was actually entering into depression myself. And it took somebody else to identify it. That goes back to the cost of being a strong Black woman. You carry so much on your shoulders. Sometimes you lose yourself and you don't know you're losing yourself. But it's like Miss Elder Kim has Ebony to see, hey, I'm here for you. But what happens to that female that doesn't have anybody that's there for them? That, have anybody to point it out. It's just some random person that has gotten to know you. Say, hey, that you're not you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Richard commented on something, and it was one of the things that was crossing my mind. And he said, "Let's be clear, everyone has that crazy family member." He put quotes around it because I'm sure everybody remembers you had an uncle, you had a cousin, or somebody that was always in a room. And it always takes me back to the movie The Color Purple. When not The Color Purple. What's the movie where they found the money in the TV with Medea?
First Sunday. No.
Soul Food. No, it was Soul Food. It was Soul Food. My husband gets that one. He got that one right. Soul Food. But I remember thinking when I saw that part of the movie, this is so much how we've always handled mental illness in the Black community. You put them in a room, you feed them, you keep them away from the kids, you isolate them. And Richard just said isolation is a key symptom of depression. And what my thing is with mental illness, let's talk about what mental well-being is. I just through the first aid mental illness responder certification. And one of the things it taught me is to change my dialect about what we say. So when we say illness, and Richard, I love Richard because he's on it tonight. He says, when you have diabetes, you go to the doctor, you seek out a doctor. When you got high cholesterol, you seek out a doctor. But when you got something that's imbalanced, because that's what's wrong, it's an imbalance in your brain. And so you find something to balance you. But like Jamaica said, you don't talk about what going on in my house. If something going on, you don't say anything. You don't do this, you don't do that. And so we've stigmatized getting healthy. We've stigmatized it. Let me give you an example, and I'm gonna go away from mental illness for a minute. When we were little and we were all skinny, child, you need to eat. You ain't nothing but skin and bones. So we taught people that if you were skinny, you were unhealthy. So then they started. Now, Kim, I'm just talking about where I'm from, Kim. I'm from my other Kim, where I'm from.
Look, I ain't never heard of it. I ain't never been skinny.
But I'm just saying, we stigmatize everything. If you're too skinny, it's a problem. If you're too big, it's a problem. So it's a problem. Deal with the problem. And my thing is start encouraging people that your mental well-being is important. Just like I don't want Elder Karen to be physically sick, I don't want her to be mentally sick. I want her to be physically well. So I should want her to be emotionally and mentally well. But we don't want to talk about it because it makes people uncomfortable. I've learned how to turn my need for help with my mental well-being into a joke. So I always tell people, you want to ensure that I take my medicine every day. It's important to your life that I'm balanced. It's not about me. It's about how I'm going to react to you if I don't. The other part of my joke is my sister travels with me. She carries an extra supply just in case some of y'all get to acting crazy and I need to adjust. Everything doesn't have to be, oh, woe is me. Oh, I tell folks, I might not take my blood pressure pill, but baby, I'm gonna get that one in. Why? Because I don't want to know me unbalanced.
Yeah.
And when there are times I come off of it, things are going well. 6-7 months down the road, baby, I get right back on it because I can tell when I'm not good. And this is not about what you think about me. This is not about what people that's watching this on Facebook that grew up with me think about me, because I don't care what you think about me. I need me to be good for me, because I'm no good to anybody else if I'm not good with me. And we don't want, just like Jamaica said, that's part of that strong Black woman. We got this on our shoulder. We got that on our shoulder. Here we are, the 5 of us tonight, trying to reach out to other women, to other people that may be listening and saying, it's okay. You know, I'm a part of some veterans groups, and every now and then somebody will say, I'm not okay. And I remember one night I just called. I called her. I said, is it okay if I call you? And she said, yes. And so I called and I talked to this woman. I can't even tell you her name right now, but I talked to her almost 2 hours. She just needed somebody to talk to, because she was the family member that everybody else called. And so when she was going through something, she didn't feel comfortable calling them. I'm telling you, I can't tell you her name, but we talked and she felt better, and I was good with that. And when we were done, I said, is it okay if I pray with you? She was like, oh my God, a praying woman too? I was like, absolutely. She was like, well, my family doesn't pray. They don't believe in that. I was like, well, honey, that's going to be one of the reasons you might need to call me back, because people that don't understand that God is a healer mentally, physically, spiritually, then that's going to be an issue for some people.
So let me ask y'all a question. We're talking about being a strong woman. Have y'all ever heard of the thicker skin theory as it pertains to Black people? It is said in a survey, and I did some reading this morning, some research, and I found that our counterparts really do believe that we have thicker skin, meaning we have a higher tolerance to pain. We can take more abuse, we can take more mistreatment, we can take more, physical pain than anybody else can. And so, especially as Black women, they really think that we as Black women have thicker skin than anybody else. Nurse Ebony, I'm sure you can probably attest to that, especially now since you're starting your journey into being a doula. Have you experienced any situations where, there was probably some mistreatment because the Black woman is said to be stronger and can handle more? I've seen it. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry, I was momming.
That's okay.
That theory actually goes way back to who they call the father of obstetrics, when he was doing surgery on slave women without any type of anesthesia. We have always been assumed to be able to handle more pain, more anything. Being a nurse now for 17 years, I have seen where somebody of African American descent might not have been prescribed the same thing that one of our counterparts may have been prescribed for the same surgery, or they will prescribe the same thing but a much lower dose, because assuming that well, they'll just be all right, they can handle it. So I just go up in there and I'll be like, hey, I've always been an advocate, want to be a righter of wrongs. That's why I want to take care of people. That's why I became a nurse. So I just real gently, hey, say this what you need to ask for when you go into when you go to your doctor, and you gotta go. Make sure you write out a list. Make sure you ask about ABC 1, 2, and 3 when you go in there. Ask them why they didn't put this on your mark, and tell them you're gonna need that because of this. So we have to, we have to be an advocate for everybody. We have to, while our skin folk ain't kin folk, we have to immediately assume that they are in the beginning and try to help them, because how else do we fix the critical breakdown in our community and in sisterhood if we don't at first at least extend and show ourselves friendly, show ourselves sisterly. So it's almost like, a catch-22. We caught between a rock and a hard place, because we can't trust everybody, because everybody doesn't have our own interests, our best interests. But how do you just continue to let injustices go unchecked? So we got something in there. Richard said it's rooted in the views that melanated people have less intricate nervous systems, which means they are incapable of higher thinking, complex emotions, and less sensitive to pain, including emotional pain. Thank you, Brother Richard.
But can I ask y'all, where do y'all think that started from? Where did it start that we have this immense amount of strength? I have an idea, but where do you think it started from? Like, we have this immense amount of strength that we can take on anything, especially the women. Where y'all think it came from?
We couldn't show emotion back in slavery. Yeah, we couldn't show emotion.
Definitely.
Back in slavery.
The more emotion you showed, the more they took your family.
Okay, so how do we break the cycle with our daughters and our granddaughters? How do we break the cycle and show them that it's okay to have real humanistic moments? It's okay to stop and breathe. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. How do we? Because I was talking to my friend earlier today, and I was kind of telling him, like, in my family, I come from a long line of super duper strong women. I love my mom to death. That's my dog. That's my girl. But I've only ever seen her show emotion one time in my life. And that was when my brother died. When my brother passed, my mama had a small mini second of a situation where she cried a little bit. And after that, she snatched it right together, and I ain't seen a shed of tear since. Like, she's always going, like, so many things have happened that could have broken my mama down, but I've never seen her take the time. So I thought that that's just what we did. I thought that's what we did. And so, like, where does the line divide?
You really just answered your own question.
You did.
You answered your own question.
You did.
Because you can tell somebody something till you blue in the face, but children mimic your actions. So had she shown you something different, you would have responded differently. We have to show our children that it's okay to have emotions.
But
we
catch this, because I wasn't shown that, because I was taught that that's just what we did. What I raised. You know, my daughter,
the same thing.
So it's a cycle. I didn't break it. I latched onto it. My baby seen me do it. She did exactly the way it is.
So Kim, my question to you is, why isn't she on here tonight? If nothing more than to listen. And here is why I say that. Mm-hmm. Because you said your mother showed that emotion when your brother died. Mm-hmm. So in her mind, strong Black woman, oh, I got to get it together. I got to be strong for my kids. I got to be strong for my family. This is what I have to do. Oh, I can't let anybody see me as vulnerable and weak. You have lost your child. That is not the natural order of life. So what she showed you was that you get it together, you deal with it privately. And then, and thankfully, she's still here, you're still here, and your daughter's still here. However, there are so many people when they deal with it privately, because now let's go to the latter and the more difficult part of mental health, well-being, and being strong. We don't commit suicide in the Black community, where we've learned that we do now.
Oh yeah, especially Black women.
Exactly. And why is that? Because we didn't talk about it. We dealt with the molestation. We dealt with being in a position where we had to take care of sisters and brothers when we were 9 and 10 and 11 years old. We didn't get to be a child. And all of this is built up and just stacked on your shoulders. You know, think about slavery. You can't even feed your own child because you got to feed master's children. All of this stuff over the years just compounded. So what do? I show you that I'm not a punk. Mm-hmm. Right. I just had surgery, and I was so thankful that my granddaughter was here with me, because I got to show her what pain looked like. Mm-hmm. My mom not always good. Sometimes my mom needs some help to get out the bed. Sometimes my mom needs you to hand her pain medicine. Okay. But we don't talk about it. We don't make it okay. We don't make it safe. Why? Because, girl, you ain't gonna believe. Coach Ebony called me the other day, and girl, guess what she said? And then Elder Kim called me the other day, and guess what she said? We don't take people coming to us and confiding in us the way we should and holding on to that. I tell people I'm an HR professional. I'm the best secret keeper you'll ever meet, but I'm also the most talkative secret keeper you'll ever meet, because I can use what other people have shared and never tell you anything about who it is if it's going to help the next person. But we don't want to share.
Because we don't feel like we have a safe place to do so, like you just said. I've confided in you, and you take what I gave you and give it to somebody else, and they take, and next thing you know, everybody know my business. So it's just best that I don't say nothing. I'm just keeping to myself because I ain't really got a safe place to land. And that just seems like how it is, like especially in women's circles. I mean, that's something that Ebony and I are trying to work on, doing our part to break the stigma of not having a safe place for women to land. Like every last one of us we need each other. I don't care what y'all say. I need y'all. I ain't got together all the time. As y'all can see, I ain't got it together all the time. I ain't got all the answers. I've got 10 mentors that I mentor right now all the time. But every mentor needs a mentor. While I'm with their stuff, I still get my stuff.
That's right. But that's but Elder Kim, that's why that therapist, that the psychologist and that psychiatrist are important in your life when you don't feel like you have a safe place with a girlfriend or a sister or cousin or whoever. That's somebody you can go and just lay it on the line. You don't have to feel judged. Jamaica, am I right about it?
You guys were talking, and I'm telling you,
you're right.
Something hit me deep down
no
on the middle right here.
What, Jamaica?
Well, it was. There was the thing that you talked about. You were like, cycles keep going.
Oh, okay.
Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at Jamaica, but I heard your voice. I'm sorry.
Okay, then my apologies. Listen, she and I both have a lot of the same thing to say, so I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna pay attention to her real quick. Oh my God, and back off and be quiet. But you said something that we talked about breaking cycles, and then we talked about the aspect of slavery. So then my mind went to, do y'all remember the part in Roots where they wanted Kunta to change his name? Do you remember that part? And they whooped that man bloody.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me? His name was one thing, they want him to say, your name is this. And then I began to think about, we're talking about cycles, and we're talking about how is it that we can get from one place to another, right? Well, you can't do what you don't know, but then you can't unknow once you do know. Yeah. Once you know, we're held accountable, right? So think about it. How many times, we sit and we say, well, why is it that it seems like the tough skin, the thick skin thing comes into play, and we're less communicative and we're less expressive of our emotions? Well, think about it. When we got in trouble, or if there was anything going down and we got a whooping, sometimes your parent or whoever it was, your aunties, your uncles, whoever it might have been, they said, you better not cry. You better not say nothing. You better take it. Say nothing.
Yeah, Lord.
That's heavy, Karen.
Deep reaching.
That's real
heavy on me.
That's heavy.
That's where they took me to.
That's heavy.
Wow.
So we are taught that. Even in our discipline, we're taught you shut up and you take it and you don't say nothing. If somebody does something to you, you shut up, you take it and you don't say nothing. But in the middle of it, we're growing stronger. But yet we got to learn how to break out to say, I see it. Yes, it made me stronger. But baby, this is another way. I've got to talk about it. Let's communicate. So you don't have to go through pushing it under the rug.
Yeah.
Hiding it on the pew.
Yeah.
Sucking it up for somebody hitting your back.
Wow.
Trying to tell you that you less than. But there's a strength that even comes from all that negativity, and we got it. Mindset, man. It's the mindset. It is mind over matter.
Jamaica, I saw you laughing at that comment.
But Jonathan asked a good question. Jonathan asked, can you be your own safe space?
No,
No.
you can't.
No, Jonathan.
You're gonna cry.
You want to know why, Jonathan? Because when you're in the moment and you're having an issue or an episode or you're dealing with something, if you could talk your way through and know what to say to you, you wouldn't be there.
Right. Sometimes you don't even know you're in danger.
You don't know. And you can't fix what you don't know is broken. Which is, and I don't know how many people have an EAP program at their job, but it is so imperative that you use those resources. We have people lose their jobs because they're having problems in their life and they have no one to talk to or have no way to deal with them, or they think they don't. And so they end up losing their job, which then intensifies the problem that they already had. So you're struggling to get your mental well-being together, but you're not talking to anyone. So you lay out of work, you become depressed, you don't show up, you're not focused, you make mistakes. And so then it costs you your job. So now you got another layer on top of the issue that you already have.
That's very true. I think one of the reasons why we try to put on the airs and the front that we have everything together is because we've been sold this lie that if everything looks to be perfect, sooner or later everything might turn out to be perfect.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, one thing I've learned about perfection is it's a lie. There is no such thing as perfection. That's a lie. Once you reach one level, once you perfect one thing, then there's going to be something else. Like we're always evolving, always growing, always, becoming a better person than we were yesterday. So the perfection, there's no such thing as perfection. That's a lie.
So I'm reading comments, and Richard said that he used his employee's EAP when his mother passed. He used it for grief counseling, best decision he ever made. And I had some family member that recently lost someone very important in their life. And I said to them, you need to go talk to someone, because us, we just gonna get back together and talk about all the good times with cousin so-and-so and auntie this and brother that. And that's just gonna help us. No, baby, you need to go talk to someone. Have a conversation.
Yes.
That's extremely true.
So there's someone on here named Jay Grogan.
Don't.
Please don't entertain him.
Don't entertain him at all.
I just wanted y'all to know he feeling some kind of way, but I just want Jay to know we're talking about the cost of being a strong Black woman. Woman. You are more than welcome to comment in the comment section like you're doing. But tonight we're talking about woman. Oh, he said Grogan. Okay, I got it, Grogan. I pronounced it the way I saw it. Please don't get your feelings. Jay, don't come for me, Jay, because I'll show you the strong Black woman that I am.
Jay, let this one go, baby. Just let that one go. Now go on over there and comment and share, like and share, and everything else.
I'm glad I can't see what he's saying, because I know he is.
Listen, so I got a question, ladies. And you know what? I'm just gonna go and be transparent and put me and Kim business in the street. So what happens when you have a safe space but you won't utilize it? What do you do then?
The shade.
Okay. Listen, Kim, I got you, Kim. Don't even worry. Okay.
Kim can't
go ahead, Jamaica.
So.
Yeah.
Kim really explained earlier why she doesn't utilize her safe place. She pretty much said her mom never showed her basically how to express emotions and things like that. So she goes into hiding. So she must.
But what's so crazy about that is I can tell everybody else how to utilize theirs and what to do and how to do it and when to do it and what they should do. But when it comes to me, myself, and I'll be just as lost and crazy. That's the part I'm struggling with. So, like I said earlier, Ebony, it's not that I don't want to utilize my safe spaces because I have them in you. I know I have them in Karen as well. It's just that sometimes I can't even articulate the feeling, the things that I'm feeling. Sometimes I don't even know why I feel that way. So what I'm gonna come to you and say, girl, I just feel. And you're like,
yes, that's
what?
yes.
That's
That's
exactly
exactly what you say. No, Kim, that's exactly what you say. Girl, I don't know what's going on with
Yeah.
me, but something ain't right. Because
Right.
once you open up to saying that and you start to dialogue, even if you're not talking about what it is that's on your mind, you start to share things that allows the person that you're safe to share with to recognize what may be going on and how they can help. But if you're not saying anything, you're not fixing anything. So let me say this. And I'm getting ready to talk to you like I'm Ebony, but I'm not. Okay. I know I'm not, but just give me a pass.
Okay.
This is those times when I say we can't be hypocritical in helping.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But I don't know if y'all have ever been so low that you cannot talk. Like you so low you don't have the strength to even try to explain to nobody. Like all you can do in that moment is just be like, I don't know if y'all ever been that low before.
Yeah.
I haven't been that low.
Can you text?
Sometimes I don't want to.
Okay.
That's just
Don't you think sometimes you have to breathe? You hear what I'm saying? It's like after you had just what you said, inhale, exhale, and I do it 3 times. Because sometimes you have to just sit for a minute to gather your whole self, saying nothing, connecting with nothing, getting in a place and being absolutely still, gathering yourself together. Then you can kind of say, okay, all right.
That's
now
me.
I think I can talk about it.
But
let me let me breathe just for a minute.
Just
I
let
know
me
this
be.
thing is here. Yeah,
You don't
I
breathe
need to talk to somebody, but I can't right now.
3 weeks of breathing, Kim? 3 weeks?
It took
No,
me
no.
Here's the thing. I learned how to fake you because I'm still going to work.
People that love you not going to be able. People that love you are not going to let you sit in that for 3 weeks because they are worried about what you will do next.
But I was still going to work. I was still
don't matter
everyday life. But when I came home and had the time to I did nothing.
Oh, so you was faking the funk.
I got real good at that. That last thing, that thing took me mighty low. And I did not know. And to be honest with y'all, I still don't know why that thing carried me so low. That thing carried me low for 3 whole weeks.
But at least you're able to communicate it now. At least you're able to walk in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's part of the process.
Huh?
So, what you said, Jamaica?
I said she didn't know. That's why she didn't open up to Ebony.
I don't think she would have known. I don't think
she didn't want to know because that's why
you
she
didn't want to know, Kim. No, what she's saying, Kim, is you didn't want to know, and that's why you didn't open up to Ebony. Because when you start to talk through things, it will help you identify. Is that what you're saying, Jamaica? Heavy, huh, Kim?
Yes, ma'am. It'll peel back.
She only want to hear my mouth, y'all.
Yeah, it'll peel back later.
That would it be.
Oh, well, you definitely don't be wanting to hear nobody fussing in that moment. Now, I don't want to hear that.
Well, look, when the last time I fussed at you?
I haven't done anything.
Whatever. So let me go ahead and be a little more extra transparent. We putting all our business out on the internet streets tonight. Me and Kim can be a little hard on each other. So a lot of times Cece be thinking I'm gonna go off, but I don't. And I just be like, well, Sissy,
I hate that voice.
What I mean, but I'm being even. Like, I don't go off. I ain't gone off in like a year.
Okay, my thing is this. In the past 3 years, y'all, I've endured some stuff. Like, I've lost a whole husband. Once I bounced back, got myself together, I lost the whole fiance, not in death, but like the relationship ended. Like I've endured some stuff that I've never took the time to just stop. Like I told Ebony, when it came to the loss of my husband, I don't even think I took time to grieve. I was down for like 2-3 days. Maybe, and then I bounce right back because I had to be strong. You know, I got these people watching me. I got to bounce back. I'll be all right. The Lord got me. I never took the time to grieve the fact that my husband died on the phone with me. I never took the time to even grieve about that. Go ahead.
You need to go talk to a professional, and you need to do it long term. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying that. Because you have just you wonder what happened the 3 weeks you were down. You got layer on top of layer on top of layer on top of layer. So you can't figure out what's under any of this because you're afraid to deal with it, because you know in dealing with that, you've got to deal with his death. So I'm encouraging you tonight, if I don't say nothing else on here for anybody else, you ain't got to tell nobody you gone. You ain't got to come back on here and share with Ebony, me, Karen, Jamaica, or anybody else. You need to go take care of you for you, because you can't help your daughter, you can't help your mama, and you sure can't help your mentees if you are not good with you. And we got to stop thinking that just because we know what prayer is means that it's going to fix your issue in an instant, because it does not. Now you're doing yourself a whole disservice to not go and speak with a professional so you can dig, because I'm willing to bet you that once you start digging, you're going to uncover some stuff. You know, one of the things we struggle with when we deal with grief is all the things that we wish the person had stayed around to share with us. So all the stuff that you planned for you and him to do, you dealing with all of that you're no longer going to be able to do because that person's not here. And oh, by the way, you were on the phone with him. I could have done, I should have known, I should have recognized, I should have. No, baby, you got to go talk to somebody, and it ain't us.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shut up. Yes, ma'am.
Oh
Don't
my
start
God.
crying because I got my good lashes on now. I ain't trying to cry. Don't cry.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
But see what y'all just said. Y'all are doing the very thing we're talking about not doing. I'm not gonna cry. Why?
No, I mean, no.
She said that because I cry all the
now.
time. Now I will cry. Now, if I don't do nothing else, I'll cry. If I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna cry. Now, I might not stop, but I'm gonna cry.
So, y'all, this has been very, very, very therapeutic for me. Oh my goodness.
Go ahead.
Because you know I'm finna cry.
Okay, before we go, let me just read a couple comments here, because I think it's important that we hear from our audience. Brittany Walker says, do you need to forgive yourself and let God and therapy heal you? And Richard said,
Boy, you break up, so.
We can't hear you, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry about that. Richard said, the great myth of strong is that we don't need to grieve.
Yeah, I put that up a little while ago.
And sometimes avoiding self is disguised as strength for others. I think that was for you, Kim.
I receive it.
But it's okay. It's okay. It is so okay to not be okay all the time. Like, one of the things I recognize about myself is when I'm really not my best and I'm really not okay and things are going on, I want to go lay down and go to sleep. I ain't sleepy. I ain't tired. I just want to lay down and not deal with it.
You don't have to deal with it.
But you have to. So you have to pull yourself. You know, my husband gets on to me all the time. And I we're talking about transparency. My husband gets on to me all the time that sometimes he'll want to do something physical. I'm not a physical person anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this engaging, talking through things and helping people, I'll pop up for. And that's the truth. I can own that. The difference is this is an outlet for me. So it allows me to clear my mind and my heart of things that may have been distracting me. Whereas if I go outside and I start physically doing something, then all I'm doing is in my head again because I'm thinking. Whereas if I'm able to communicate it, it allows me to deal with it. And don't expect, let me say this, don't expect anybody to understand your journey. Don't expect anybody to understand where you are, but be okay with communicating with them that I'm working on me, I'm dealing with me, and I'm not going to let you disturb my peace.
Come on, man.
Amen.
Amen.
Ebony? Did you open the doors of the church?
Let the church say amen.
I know.
Let the church say amen. God done spoken here tonight. And the church done said amen.
It's amazing how you think you're doing something that benefits somebody else, but then the Lord just reach around and wrench it off and throw that thing back up in your face. I just want to thank y'all for being a safe place for me, even though it's not a private. I say this all the time. I'm probably transparent to a fault because I'm literally an open book. I literally, and this is gonna sound so cliche, but I allow God to use every part of my life, even those parts that I'm scared to share. Maybe sometimes I realize that my life is not my own. So I want to say thank you guys for being sisters to me, for holding me accountable, because yeah, that's my truth. I went through 3 whole weeks of depression where I did not want to talk to nobody. I went along to get along to do my job, to provide for my children. But when that was said and done, I was right back over there in that bed. And I did not do anything but just be. And so I think I did kind of realize that I do need to go. I need a place that, I don't want to say a safe place because I have a safe place, but I need a place to release it's like almost 40 years worth of stuff up in here that I need to release. And I realize that I can't help those that I'm called to help until I'm a more healthier me mentally. So thank y'all.
Ha!
So we got a little.
Now that was it right there.
Guess want to pop in. Let's see what he.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
What do you want?
You knew good well I was coming on. Well, I'm sitting up there preaching and stuff, man. I just want to say thank y'all for coming on and sharing y'all truth. Honestly, I'm still in a little pain, but I thank y'all for everything that y'all said. I am the last part of all this stuff that they didn't put together. I'm the one that's been in the comments having them cracking up laughing because they've been sipping on something, but they don't want to share what they've been sipping on. Now, I know it ain't community, so
pink lemonade.
I just want to say
fruit punch. You want some
pink lemonade?
But thank you, Miss Jamaica, Reverend Henley. I appreciate you every time you come on here. Thank you for your truth. Thank you for being open and honest with us. Dr. Reverend Miss Karen, I said it earlier in the broadcast. I was like, if she ain't gonna start preaching on this thing today already, it's 5 minutes in here and she already preaching. God dog it. But I just want to thank y'all, man, from the bottom of my heart for coming on here and speaking y'all truth. It's something that we all needed, something that should be shared. Please, if you have not shared it, please share this broadcast because somebody you know or maybe even yourself need it. I am he is I am forever and will always be your friend and your brother, Coach J Hart. I love y'all. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. I'm glad you're feeling better. Get well soon.
Yes.
All right, and ladies, thank you. This has been You, Me, and the Trinity's Christ Connections and Conversations. She speaks the cost of being a strong Black woman. We love you. Thank you for coming on. Thank y'all for coming, and good night.
Have a great week. Thank y'all. Good night.